Hi, welcome back to my channel. I thought I would work on Marine to Life for a little bit while I talk to you about books. I don't have any notes. I just thought I would start talking. Let's see, I went to take a nap, so let's figure out what I was working on Al. So what we're going to do, I like to use masking tape to hold my canvas in place. It's just easier for me, so I'm just going to put these L drills down, tell you a little bit about what's going on with me. I don't think I can do this whole section in a video because I think it will take about 2 hours and nobody's going to watch a WIP and chat that is 2 hours. So let's work on our camera angle first. I think we'll just a little bit. Okay, so what have I been doing this month? Because today is September 16th. Basically, the one thing that I'm really excited about this month is that I wanted to use my planner every day for 30 days for the month of September. If I use my planner every day for this month, then I would be committed, because it takes, I believe, 21 days to make a habit, and today is day 16 and I've done it. I've worked on it every single day. I keep it open on my desk, on the table next to my recliner, or I keep it on a reader book stand when it's on my bed. And every time I do something blog related, I write in it. I've also been writing in my mini happy planner. I've been writing in my catch-all planner, and come January I will have 4 planners. In addition to having a catch-all planner, a mini planner, and a bookish planner, I also have a diamond painting planner. Yet I still bought 3 planners for 2022, which includes the first 6 months in my mini planner, because the mini planner was an 18-month planner that started last year, and it started this year January, and it ends in June 2022. So I haven't quite established what I'm going to use that 4th planner for, but I bought it anyway because I felt like, can you see what I'm doing? Barely. I felt like I had to get different layouts. I got dashboard, I got vertical, and I got horizontal. Vertical will be for catch-all, horizontal will be for my bookish, and we'll talk more about that when the planners actually come and I do an unboxing. Reading. I'm doing great reading. Let's get my planner. So talk about that for a minute. Let's see. I'm going to raise the camera so you can see what I'm talking about. I committed to using my planner every day for September, and you can see that I've been writing in my planner every day that I've been using it, as well as scheduled blog posts that are coming up. Posts. This will remind me that those are the days that I have to do it. Weekly starts like this. This was my first week of reading. It was rather a slow reading week because we were doing the diamond painting-a-thon, which we started on Friday and went through the holiday on Monday, over a 72-hour period, trying to diamond paint in a 24-hour time frame. So in that 72 hours, I think I got 29 or 30 hours. So that's why there's only 5 books for this week. Then last week, I was able to read many more books because the event ended on Monday. which is right there. And these are the books that I've read. We're not going to really talk about them because that will come at a different video. Now we are in this week, and this week I've read 2, 4, 6, 7 books. This book here I'm currently reading. I am 70% done with it, and all I have to do is finish it, and then I will start another book. Like when I started the book last night, I wrote it right here. But when I start another book tonight, I'll write it here, but the sticker will go here because I won't finish it until today. So the sticker will go right there. So I'm using my planner. My catch-all planner doesn't have a lot written in it, but I'm working on it. But let's see, September. So just, I've decorated it, but I haven't written a lot in it. But there's just a little bit, so I've got to get more. I got to write a little bit more in there. And while I'm showing you this, I'll show you that I'm using my mini planner as well. September, can't see. So where are we? What week are we in? So we're in this week, and I've just made a few notes in there, but it doesn't stop there because I'm also actively using my traveler's notebook every single day. And what I've decided to do, I know I haven't written anything here or here, is twice a week, every Tuesday and every Thursday, I plan on working on my blog. So Tuesday I had a lot. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 scheduled reviews on Tuesday, and then either posted or scheduled on Tuesday, because Serve and Protect, that was the 15th, that's already up. Dead Mercy cover reveal, that's already up. Today is the 16th, so the couple upstairs, that's up. The next one scheduled as of this date was the 20th, that's the Bookkeeper's Daughter, and so forth and so on. And then I just did the normal reading that I was doing, and then today I wrote a review for November 24th, which is Dead Mercy by Noelle Holton. December 23rd, Watching Over You by Laurie Foster. And 9/24 is A Liar's Child, and The Liar's Child was Cheryl Brown, I believe. So I am using all of these little wonderful planners that I should have been using all along to be as productive as possible. Meanwhile, I sit down and I use, I guess I should put this back since I moved the planners. I sit down and I use Kindle Fire Text-to-Speech, and I listen to my books while I diamond paint. I don't know why I'm not picking up that drill. I usually do a lot of multi-placing, but somehow I mixed rounds and squares, and I don't feel like sorting them out. So I'm just picking out the squares that I need, and I've only done it with this color. And yeah, it would probably be a little bit more time friendly to me if I would just take a minute and separate them, but it's just as easily, because I only have like a handful of those to put in. But like I said, this isn't going to be a video where I finish this painting. Maybe I will make another video at the end, square, who knows, but I doubt it. But I just thought I would pop in for a few minutes and talk to you. Now, have I read any good books this month so far? Yes, I have. And we're going to cheat by grabbing the planner that I moved out of the way. My cat is like, what are you doing? My cat thinks that my recliner is for his use. So, let's see. Oh, I've made some notes in one of these planners too for October. Let's see what my October notes were. Oh, there's the doorbell. That I made some October notes. I could have sworn I made notes for October, but maybe, yes I did. Okay, so I plan on joining in these reading challenges for October. So I put them at the end of September. So that's something else I've done. So, read any good books this month? I certainly have. I have finished the Joanna Schaffhausen series. If you've been watching my videos, I've talked about them already. It's the Ellery Hathaway series. There are 7 books in it. And at the end of last month, I read the first one, The Vanishing Season. And then at the beginning of this month, I read No Mercy, All the Best Lies, Every Waking Hour, and Last Seen Alive. Sorry, hubby's just waking up, so that was his stretch. And then so again, I said those kind of fast. No Mercy, All the Best Lies, Every Waking Hour, and Last Seen Alive. Those were the last 4. And then of those 4, 4 of them, of those 5 in total, the first 3 books in the 5th book I had at NetGalley. I don't know why I didn't get the 4th one, but I still read it, and I haven't written a review yet because I'm only giving myself X amount of time to write my reviews on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and when I have time to, in that window, I don't like this multi-placer, in that window of time that I have for I gotta capture my thought. In that window of time I have for blogging on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I will get those reviews written. And then I read some psychological thrillers from Bookouture. One was The Couple Upstairs by Shalini Boland. That one was a trip because you didn't know who was the troublesome person in that story. And so it, you know, a lot of books you'll say, oh, there's a lot of twists and turns in this book. Well, The Couple Upstairs definitely fit that category, so that was a really good book. I think I was saying I also started a new series by Joanna Schaffhausen. If I'm listening to my husband to see if he's going to go to the door. A book by Joanna Schaffhausen, Gone for Good. So I read that, and I started a new series with that, so I'm looking forward to see where that goes. I read this book that's almost like a true crime. It was called The Girl at My Door by Rebecca Griffiths. It was about a serial killer named John Reginald Christie. And John Christie was a real life serial killer who was eventually executed in 1953. But the book itself takes place in a fictional setting in 1949. And so you have 2 characters, Queenie, and I can't call the other woman's first name. Sorry for the bathroom sounds. You have 2 characters who kind of fall for the same guy named Charles, and it destroys a really, really previously strong friendship. And while they're working out that situation, John Reginald Christie has his sights set on his next victims. He was a real life serial killer. So that was Girl at My Door. I read a few diverse books. The Sweetest Remedy by Jane Egaro, On Location by Sarah Smith, and The Heart Principle by Helen Hong. Helen Hong, the main character was a pianist, and she was experiencing some difficulties, especially a communication problem between her and her sister, but meanwhile her mother was kind of like clueless. A lot of things like cancer and the autism spectrum and about 4 or 5 other really serious issues kept coming up in the book, but it was done really well, done flawlessly, so I had to give it 5 stars. I thought it was a good book. And yes, it is the third book in the series, but I don't necessarily want to read hot and heavy stuff, so I didn't read the first 2 books. Now, let's see what is next. I do have to pretty much end this video in a minute and call that my sister back, because we did have a loss in our family. So if Nikki is calling, it could be funeral related. I don't know why these pages are coming out. Let's fix that. So I'll talk for a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to disconnect this video and return that call. Then I read another diverse book, but it was also a children's book called Amina's Voice, about a young Muslim girl who was expressing herself, and we got to see things from the mind of I think she was 12 years old. It was a really good book. Very, very quick read though, only 208 pages, so it didn't take more than two and a half hours or so to read it, if it took that long. Then I read another diverse book, and this was My Sweet Girl, and this was by Amanda Jayanisa, I'm pretty sure. Yep, Jayatisa, not Nisa, Jayatisa. That was a good book. That was almost like a psychological thriller, I would say, so I enjoyed that. I do have another Tic Tac container that has this symbol 3371 in it, and I don't have mixed up drills, but I just thought, why not use these drills by sort these drills by using them up. I don't know if that makes any sense, but hey, it's what I felt like doing. And what else did I read? Oh, I read Dear Evan Hansen. I saw, when I was watching America's Got Talent last week, a young, I don't remember his name, but a young singer sang the theme song for that movie, which I had not heard of. And I think the movie comes out in November. And I really wanted to see the movie, but if I'm going to see a movie and there's a book, I will always want to read the book first. And this was another YA book, because it was about a high schooler whose friend had committed suicide. But it didn't start off that way. It started off with him having psychological issues, and his therapist had him write letters to himself every day, and through those letters it helped him learn how to communicate. But everything got turned around when the other child, the student, about 15 or 16 years old, passed away due to suicide, and how this involved Evan. But I won't say how, because if you haven't read it or you want to see the movie, I don't want to spoil that for you. Yeah, I'm pushing these drills up because I can't really see what I'm doing at this point. I like to work on my painting at an angle, but my camera will shake if I have this drafting table raised at an angle, so I have to work flat. And I think that's another reason I decided to work these mixed up drills, because it allows me to work without multi-placing, even though I can't see as well as I like. Because if you ever watch me on Zoom, you'll notice that I put my face very close to my canvas because I have trouble seeing. But I thought when I was going to make this video, because I'm working with dark colors and I'm picking them out of these mixed up drills, that it would be the perfect drills to work on in a flat manner. So yeah, I put a little thought into it. So then I read Little Bones by Patricia Gibney. It's the 10th book in the Detective Lottie Parker series. Yes, I have read all 9 of the previous books. All of them have gotten 5 stars, at least most of them. I did give Little Bones 4 stars, and not that there was anything wrong with the book, but I was watching how Lottie and Brody, her fiance, almost husband's relationship was going while she was working on this case that they were on. Lottie, in the 9th book, Lottie and Brody were about to get married, and someone was killed right outside of the church just before their ceremony had taken place, and so quite naturally their wedding was postponed. and it and they had the case that they solved in the previous book. So me being the romantic that I am was thinking, when this book came out, they would proceed with their wedding plans. But their wedding plans were interrupted. They didn't have wedding plans in this book. I don't think they even talked about a wedding in this book, in Little Bones. But the case at hand was what was most important. But while the case was going on, you can see a fissure happening between Lottie and Boyd, and that's kind of why I rated it down by 1 star. And no reflection on Patricia Gibney. I think she's a fabulous writer. I love her work. I love the series, and I will read every single book in the series as it comes out. But that's just my 2 cents on that. I read The Liar's Child by Cheryl Brown, and let me tell you, question is, who was the liar in the story? Because you had your principal characters, and then you had, I want to say Matt was the husband, Kay was the wife, then you had Matt's brother Jason, and you had a 4th character. But while you had those protagonists, you had the primary characters, Kay and Matt's little girl. Her name was Poppy, and she had renal disease, and a lot of the drama was focused on her upcoming treatment and her life's prospects. She was 5 years old. Then you factor in that there was a little girl, the little girl Poppy used to hate to go to school, and when she would go to school, when she was going to school, she met another little girl named Olivia, or Liv, and they became best friends. Best friends. 5-year-old best friends. The trick of it is that Liv could be Poppy's doppelganger. You know what a doppelganger is? It's your living twin. It's often said that everybody has a doppelganger. Everybody has somebody out there that looks like you, that's a round drill. Told you I can't see. That looks like you, that walks like you, that talks like you, that might even have your same mannerisms, or your same hair color, whatever. Well, and not to be exact, but it happens more often than not. Well, Poppy met this little girl at school that one day when Kay was picking her up from school, she almost lost her breath because this little 5-year-old, or 4 or 5-year-old, however old she was, looked exactly like Poppy. Exactly. In facial features, in the tone of her skin, the color of her hair, the uniqueness of her eyes, her mannerisms. And the drama was that as much as Kay loves Matt, she was sure he was cheating on her. That's how the book starts out. She thinks he's cheating on her. He's a respected pediatrician that specializes in, he's a respected surgeon, a doctor who specializes in pediatrics. And he's always on call at the hospital. But she thinks that some of that time he's been said to be on call, he's actually cheating on her. That's how the book starts out. So now she sees this little doppelganger of her daughter's, and she's sure that he's cheated on her because this little girl has to be her daughter's sister. But wait a minute. It's a psychological thriller, and it's called The Liar's Child. So what do all these characters, the 2 little girls that look alike, have to do with it being a psychological thriller? And that's where the reader is privy to trying to sort out that drama. Who is the liar in this story? And you most likely will find yourself surprised, because I certainly was. Then I pretty much, I guess we'll wrap it up with Laurie Foster's, oh no, Dead Mercy by Noelle Holton. It comes out December 28th. I did a cover reveal for this book, and my blog tour is, I think, at the end of the year, but I love this Maggie Jameson series by Noelle Holton. So quite naturally, I moved my TBR down and read this book yesterday, and then this morning I got up and I wrote the review, which is now on Goodreads and NetGalley and scheduled on my blog. The author has already tagged me a couple of times on different forms of social media to tell me how happy she is that I gave her first review a 5-star. And then the last book that I finished thus far is Laurie Foster's Watching Over You. It's the third book in the Mackenzies of Ridge Hill or something series. And it's about a family who champion the cause of women, mostly women, that have been pulled into sex trafficking or human trafficking, and how they stop these rings and they save these women. So in the first book, Cade had his story, and in the second book, Reyes had his story, and now in this book, Madison, the sister, so Cade and Reyes are half brothers, and they had their stories in the first two books, and then in this book, Watching Over You, Madison, the younger sister, had her story. So, oh, did I get all the L's? If so, I'm going to end the video. So, oh, I got a few more. So, Madison has her story, and in this story, in the previous story, on one of the rings that they put an end to, she saw this cop named Crosby, and she, like, it was almost love at first sight or lust at first sight, but he pretty much shut her down, and so she's like, you know, I'm a big girl, I'm gonna move on with my life, and she did. But then her father, Parrish, hires Crosby, and now Madison might get a second chance, but what's more is by his now being among the Mackenzie family, Crosby might feel a little bit more inclined to pay attention to his attraction to her. But it's not it's a romance, but it's pretty much like a romantic suspense in that somebody is out to bring harm to somebody. I know that's really vague, right? But don't worry, I'm not being vague because I don't know the book. I'm being vague because I want you to be in suspense of the book. I've already written the review. It's not due out for a couple months, but the review is already written, already on Goodreads, already on NetGalley, and already scheduled on my blog. But who's out to bring harm to who? Who's out to bring harm to whom, I should say? And how does the Mackenzie family rally together? And where does Logan fit in, especially because it's a romance? Really, really good. 5-star Laurie Foster book. She, yes, is my favorite author. I think I have read 70 of her books so far. So, that's it. That's where I left off with reading, and I'm going to find one more square in this jumbled up thing I have, put it right there, and call this video done. Now, I hope this video gets to go up because when I'm looking at this in my laptop, I'm moving kind of slow, so the video may not even work. But if it plays back nicely, the video will go up, and this picture will be done probably tomorrow, Friday. So I want to thank you for your time. Bye-bye.